Hello everybody. Lady Sophia is not with us because Lady Jane was just telling us the update on getting the correct blends for her condition, which is good. I think it would actually be super before we even start. Is there somebody in the group that feels called to do a quick invocation?
Or Lady Jane.
Lady Jane, do you want to go ahead and do that?
I will, just because I feel close to this with the eye thing. Mother God or Father, Mother God, I haven't been right either. Mother God, Father God, all the beautiful angels and spirits that are around us and with everybody else that is attenuated with us. We want to thank you and invite you into everyone's heart and soul here, not only for our beautiful mother, our beautiful Sophia Key, for all her healing, for everything to just begin to blossom for her so that she can put this behind her and move forward with all the passions and all the devotion in her heart, and that we may come along with her in full speed, in full regalia, and be the best that we can all be with everything we have stepped forward to do. With this, we thank you. We love you. Namaste. Gratitude for all.
Welcome. So glad that everybody's here. So our charge today was to practice our passion speeches. And I think the feeling I got was, this is really good. Like, it's good that she's resting. It doesn't really need her to be here to do this. We're recording this. She can review this later if she cares to. But the real thing is having this opportunity to practice doing our passion speech in front of other people, because you know any one of us could be called on Monday to do this. Remember, that was the thing that she told us. One of us is going to be asked to speak on Monday. So let's assume it's one of us. You know, she did kind of indicate it would probably be somebody from this group. So does anybody want to volunteer to go first?
I don't mind.
Okay, Lady Jane. I was going to tell you guys, I always chuckle because when I began teaching, wait time for kids is long. Wait time for adults is even longer, and online, wait time is even longer than the longest normal wait. So go for it, Lady Jane. I'm going to, for some reason, I think it's because it's Lady Sophia. Miss Asta was like, I go castle. So here she is with that.
I have to find it. Now wait, let's see. I guess I have to get it on my phone. Huh? I had it pulled down on my computer, but I guess I'm terrible with the text. So if I bring you all down here, I have to bring up my talk. It's certainly not memorized. So
while she's doing that, if
someone else might be ready.
The rest of you want to have yours ready to go and available, that's super. Yep. Very good.
Okay.
Make the most out of our time. And
if somebody else is ready, you can go. I have to bring mine up. I didn't even think of that piece of it.
No, yes.
Lady Sarah, why don't you go since you are ready?
Yeah, I usually like to get it out of the way.
Yep, Lady Jane, I'm gonna.
And again, I didn't get any feedback from her on mine, so I don't know if she reviewed it, if this is what you guys were talking about when we came in, if this is in line with what we were supposed to do. I have no idea. So
it's my understanding that she has not had an opportunity to look through them yet. So this is, this is kind of we can give you feedback as well, and you can make revisions from here. And then she's not been able to read. So this is going to actually be super beneficial for her because she's going to be able to listen. Okay.
Right. Okay. Well, and just so you guys know, obviously we had the one to do for Path of the Magi and then the one for this. And so I have like one page for each. And the one for this group builds on the Path of the Magi one. So I was going to read both, if that's okay. Okay. And I kind of start it as a talk to a group and then so we'll see how it goes. All right. Okay. So anyone else out there feel like they don't belong? Sure, everyone has their awkward, uncomfortable moments where they say the wrong thing or embarrass themselves. I'm talking about feeling like you're older than your actual age, the feeling that societal norms just don't make sense, and there must be more to life than this. You may notice signs, odd occurrences, and repeating numbers. These things catch your eye, but you brush them off as a coincidence. You may be intrigued by psychics, astrology, and cosmic events, but you downplay it as entertainment. When I was a child, I never fit in with kids my age. Friends came and went. Many nights I would lie in my room and listen to music and cry, longing for something I could not identify or explain. I often wondered if I was mentally ill. I was fascinated by space and the universe. I believed in God, Jesus, angels, but organized religion never resonated. I was always extremely empathetic, and I never understood why people would treat each other terribly and argue over seemingly trivial things. I spent most of my life with a low self-esteem, settling, especially in relationships. By the time my second marriage was falling apart in 2016, the signs and desperate cry of my soul could no longer be ignored. I went on a healing retreat to Sedona, and I started working with oracle cards and crystals. Within a few months, I was experiencing a full-blown spiritual and Kundalini awakening. I was even attuned to do Reiki, although I had zero confidence in my abilities. I was excited, but I had so many questions. I felt like I was starting to find myself, yet I was lost. My prayers for help were quickly answered when a post caught my eye in the Old Soul community on Facebook. I was led to An Angel's Dream, which contains the ancient book of wisdom. I couldn't put the book down. Everything made sense. I was honored to start online classes. I felt like I was in real life Hogwarts. I spent 2.5 years studying the 53 lessons. It was an incredible experience, and I grew immensely. It helped me identify, face, and heal my core wounds, inner child. The most beautiful gift is being able to say and feel that nothing in my life was a mistake. Everything led me to where I am now. Every mistake served a purpose, a much greater purpose and movement in the chess game, which led me here. I ask you to examine your past, your mistakes. What can you learn from it? How can you grow? The lessons in the book of wisdom contain the truth of creation, the word of God, the truth of the divine nature of us all, the truth of the lost world of Atlantis, which shows us how history is repeating itself now. But it also arms us with the knowledge and tools of how to prevail this time around. We all can discover our spiritual gifts and this knowing. It is never too late to set aside what you think you know, pull back the veil of illusion, and awaken your soul. So that was the Magi one. So for this, I went on to say, despite the wonderful experience, I was looking forward to class being done in spring of 2020 because I have such a crazy day job. Little did I know it was all just beginning. The pandemic came out of nowhere and shattered the norms of our comfortable existence. I felt a calling like I never had before. Although I identified as one of the 144,000 light bearers, I was starting to realize that entailed much more than attending a class. Doing yoga, playing with crystals, dabbling in spiritual practice, and trying to unite with my twin flame. Millions of people do those things daily. They claim to be an awakened light bearer, but what is happening requires much more than a label and new age hobbies. It is mission, it is life, it requires hard work, focus, dedication, and action. There's a difference between being conscious and truly awakened. It's been over 3 years since I awakened. I finally feel worthy of the gifts I've been given and believe they're legitimate. I'm finally starting to comprehend the magnitude of the why. We are at the end of times. This is the real deal. Not only did I choose my life experiences, painful relationships and heartbreak to help women heal, I've come to this planet at this time to serve as a true light bearer. I am reuniting with my brothers and sisters of the light from ancient Atlantis, not just to save a nation, but to save the planet. As we rise, those around us are uplifted. There are an unprecedented number of people awakening and ascending in consciousness. Although they may not be stepping into mission in the same manner as us, their light serves as a beacon for others. We are at the precipice, the tipping point. I believe the light is gaining momentum and there's hope for this planet. I believe in the good of humanity, and I'm here to help lead, guide, and dedicate my life to the creation of a new earth. We must do more than share the light, we must embody it. My soul has been preparing for this for thousands of years. I still have not quite grasped it, but I am ready, I am not afraid. I am worthy, we are worthy, we are one with God, and we are here to serve God. Sorry, I know that was long.
I think that was good. So in a traditional classroom, one of the things we do is we give usually a praise and a suggestion. So anybody want to give Sarah a praise for what she's done and then any kind of suggestion that they might have? And I've muted you all, so you'll have to unmute yourself. Go ahead, Clay.
I feel like you covered it. You covered all of the bases of what we do, just enough to give the reader insight on what we do, but just enough to leave a little bit of mystery.
Any suggestions for her?
Not at this time.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Jane. I'll unmute you. Or no, you actually have to do that yourself.
Oh, the first talk, Sarah, I said, I haven't heard anybody else's, but I'd say I would vote that in. That was a wonderful, that was your Path of the Magi. Your first talk was Path or personal. It sounded more personal in a way, but I thought it was just really, really wrapped up so many other things. I just thought that that piece was I just felt that was very personal, and I felt it was more personal than the other. Not that it wasn't, you were speaking from your heart, but I just felt I just felt your whole person in that so much, but in such a way that it wasn't woo woo. I really thought it was just it moved me.
Thank you.
Excellent. Any suggestions for her, Jane?
I don't have a good suggestion brain on right now. I think I don't know. I just was so in the first one that I don't really have a good feel for the second part of the person as much as the first. You know, my take on what we're doing here, we all have a different interpretation, and mine might not be for what we're doing in this spot necessarily as the readout. I felt it was more maybe just us, and that the other one is what's going to be pulled for the TED Talk. And who knows, you
It's
know,
hard to say.
Right.
it's hard to say. So that's how I went in. But that first one, I think, could just go either way. I think you right there, you would have said everything.
Okay. Yeah, I probably could condense it some too.
I mean, the first one to me was,
Yeah, I think so too. So that we make sure, I want to hold to time just because I don't know what everybody's schedules are. We'll do like 2 people can volunteer to give feedback for each person. So Jane, are you ready to do yours?
yeah, yeah, I'll just do the second one because I and everything. I have to bring it up from my ceiling wave. So I can't see you, but can you hear me fine?
Yep, go for it.
Okay. Writing the first Passion TED Talk, I certainly thought through this deeper level, which is a core that pushes me forward to what I call the greater challenge, trying to bring the essence of all the knowledge and wisdom we have been blessed to receive and grow towards understanding to other sparks out there, finding the right communication to be understood and embraced as value. My life, through many twists and turns, has been driven by a sense to search for meaning and true purpose in being here. Finding my way through Archangel Michael right after 9/11, Michaelmas ceremony at the castle, I knew this is where I needed to be. Oh, so much to learn, strip, reshape, accept, but stayed. I had always been longing for and searching for a loving partner with many pictures of what that should look like. Through all the many years of growing with and learning with other knights, but mostly under the guidance of Sir Edward and Lady Sophia with all they channel, many layers have been shed, allowing my spirit to grow and hold my ego side in place so much better. Big lie if ever said this was easy, but having come this far, this is where I am, both from my wants and knowing that there is true purpose in following and supporting all the wisdom and knowledge being offered to us as apostles to help a balance for humanity. I now have such a better feeling of what love feels like. When I don't doubt, I am given so much. Underneath, I think I was always looking for a feeling of security. So much had been shown and given to me over these past 20 years. The true meaning of love, unconditional love, has been shown so much by the steadfastness of Lady Sophia and Sir Edward, with all they have surrendered to and made us a part of, to understand more of what all the secrets of spirituality and universe are. Never on my own would I've been sifting through all the information they bring to us, both from the internet and all they are tapped into. When I do this work with kindred spirits, I feel a sense of community, that nothing is impossible. The levels of Reiki, tachyon treasures, oils, crystals, healing missions of every sort are my happy spaces. Doing treatments bring me much joy as I see and feel how others find a shift they are looking for. The each one teach one and let it exponentially grow. The more I exercise humility, something better learning, all treatments fill me with feelings I don't get from any of the many material offerings of our earth plane. Don't get me wrong, I can still enjoy 5-star, but this is not my motivator. I have a loving partner that has all the qualities I wrote down and put out there, where I better understand self-love and self-appreciation with the compliment of another who's supportive after years of my being my supporter. Taken many years to embrace worthiness. Still have my old tapes to shed, but they go so much faster now. With more noticeable physical changes at my age, learning and accepting mortality is sobering, in that I have a new respect for my physical time and how I spend it. I've always felt better with a purpose with everything I do. When not living that, felt lost. Never have I been a good group person. With work we do now, there is no limit to growth and understanding potential. That is quite exciting. With our Master Wisdom class, there is a purpose and responsibility to spread what we are learning to others in search. Of course, I am hungry to refine all the techniques and levels of our energy practice with the curriculum and active application of our treasures. But being stable on the physical plane is important. I am challenged to get this technology, but slowly happening now, as I will soon have our indoor work completed with my dream room. Getting clearer what and how I can offer things, maintaining confidence in it all is most important. Always about balance. I will keep moving forward at a pace that makes sense for me. Much is given, much must be returned. It equals balance. We do not have a lot of money, but income to live on and knowing we will be provided for as long as we do our part. This has proved true time and time again. I have always been fearful and fearless, scared and brave, shy and bold. I knew there was no life just living in a convent, which was my mother's prayer, just better ways for the spark to grow. This is where I am at peace and love today. Grateful to be part of something so much greater than I ever imagined. A loving and supportive partner, a grandson I love that is still in my life, a comfortable home in process, awesome dog, good food, and good health. Thank you, Lady Sophia Key, for being our forever cheerleader this way. You are inspiration and germane to this core. Love forever and always, Lady Jane. So that was for us, obviously, and not for TED Talk.
You know, I think one and the same. I think we're all going to find, I mean, when I think about the two pieces I wrote, the one for this group was far more specific, and maybe the one that I wrote for Path of the Magi is more appropriate. You know, we'll see, right?
Well, I have that one here too. It's not as long, but it definitely, I geared it, keeping obviously many things out of it that I put in here with.
I think that what would be really good is we can pick the one that we think would resonate the most and give feedback. And then if we have time to come back and do the others, we can do that too. Now that I'm seeing everybody's really taken some serious time and put some energy and length in, you know, I want to make sure everybody gets a chance. Most importantly, so Lady Sophia can hear everybody's voice and hear the one that's calling. So can we get two people to give a little bit of praise and feedback to Lady Jane? Go ahead, Alexandria.
First of all, heartfelt. What a beautiful map you gave of your life, all the trials, tribulations, lessons, and like what a glorious tapestry you wove with your words. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Any feedback for her?
If this is geared towards this speech, maybe like a more global perspective with some of all the things that you've been through, yes, but maybe pull back a little bit and give more of a global perspective. Like, how would you relate all of that to someone else that you've been through?
That was
tap in
my
and
other
touch.
talk. Yeah, it's in my other talk that way.
Oh, okay.
A lot less.
Okay.
My other talk is that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I totally
Beautiful.
had them separated. You know, that's the way I read this assignment.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Clay gave you some feedback, Lady Jane. He said, I like how you wrote a letter and poured your heart into it. Yeah. My feedback, and I would say the same thing. The passion is evidently there. Um, if you're going to go back and do any revision, I don't know if anybody's going to do that. Um, can you look at it again? Maybe look at it again in the eyes of, if you were going to share this with a child, what would you say out of that?
With a child.
If you were going to say the same things to a child, what parts might you leave in and what part might you pull out?
Well, I'd probably write it with a whole different tone. I was writing for you guys. This group right here. That's the way I understood this assignment. So
Yeah, and I don't think there's a wrong or a right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Alexander, does that hand mean you're ready to go next?
I want to get it over with.
Go ahead.
Is that possible?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
All right. Now, how it came out with the assignment, I could not differentiate between the two, and it came out as a channel in one. So this is what I've got. Okay. All right. What drives me to awaken each morning, place my feet on the ground, and proceed with a new day? And ask yourself, what drives you? When going into deep reflection and meditation, the quiet answers me. I push out the thoughts that try to tumble around my mind. This is a housekeeping of sorts. When the space between the silence and sound is met, the hum of the quantum field is heard. I then open up my vessel to the divine frequencies and ask to channel and receive the light, the messages, the frequencies, and words to share with the collective. Reading and translating that signal that has been sent out is something I must do. I have surrendered self to the cause protecting humanity from outside forces and from the darkness within itself. I was called to this. It has not been easy. My path to this point was destined to be one of great pain and suffering due to my attachments to people, places, and things, and holding on to the trauma. I needed to experience these things to fully understand the shadow and ego, lower density capabilities in us all. I thank it and all the players in my life. It has brought me to this point of singularity, a 0 point of purpose and passion to save the human race from itself. I, with many others who have been called to do the same, we have heard this clarion call sent out across the ages to reconvene, connect, and help assist and bring about the balance humanity deserves. We mustn't and will not leave this task to the already weary and downtrodden. We are the hope, the light bearers from the dawn of humanity, sent to guide and protect, to bridge the upper dimensional existence and frequencies in the quantum field. We have brought down the wisdom and knowledge of the golden alchemical tools of light to assert this balance the planet so desperately needs in these times. We are strategically placed all over the world, holding our grid points of light. We use our quantum thought and positive reasoning with these sacred tools to send out the frequency, intention, and the light of manifestation. Everything is energy. Everyone from children to the elderly, regardless of their position, with an open heart and pure intention, can and will do the same. We ask you to join us. Humanity has come so far and has learned so much through these trials, tribulations of war, our own self-destruction, and the pull of the material and greed to not duplicate the mistakes of history. The people who remember the pain and the loss will speak up and correct the wrongs in gathered numbers. This will be the tipping point for humanity. The wave of light and frequency will flash across the planet, and it will be renewed and truly live through the higher dimensional existence of love, the 528 frequency. This is the only thing that matters. When your loved one is about to pass on, it is love. When a child is born, it is love. When a wrong has been truly forgiven, it is love. The 528 frequency is our saving grace. Join us in spreading this love energy over the planet in waves in your daily now moments by always choosing the highest good for all. With all the love in the universe, I send this out to you.
Namaste. Thank you. So do we have any volunteers to offer Alexandria some? I'm looking here. I'm trying to get back.
Yeah,
to you.
can you hear me?
Yeah, Finn, go.
Yeah, I think it was beautiful. Yeah, I was emotionally, I can feel it, and every word went into me, so I think it was very good. I'm sorry, I am a little sick, so I'm also sick, so I'm sitting here, but I think it was very good.
Good. Did you have any suggestions for Alexandria?
No, I think it was good. Maybe no, I don't know. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Sarah said to you, Alexandria, that was amazing. I think that was what we were supposed to do. I can't disagree and I can't agree either because I don't know if I know what we were supposed to do. I think it called differently to every single one of us.
Yeah, and these weren't my words. I had my coffee extremely early in the morning. And I just was like, okay, geez, another assignment. You know how I am with homework. I think maybe everybody is. I don't know. And I started to write and I said, please just help me with this, help me with this, help me with this. And it was like I heard words. I heard the words and I just kept, I didn't care what it looked like. And I don't know. This was super healing for me. So if it goes no further than here, I'm just so thankful. It was like my spiritual resume. You know what I mean?
Go ahead, Lady Jane.
Yeah. You know, it totally beautiful. I mean, you've had so many beautiful examples, you know, of the love and everything. I get the feeling now, and maybe this is the way we're factoring out, we have different streams. With yours, you could be almost beginning to teach a core of people who are already light workers or path. You know, with say Sarah's, I feel like, oh, that's those that are just coming in and they don't have, you know, maybe they can't hit the 528 frequency and all that right away. It's like we've got two audiences already between the two of you, and who knows? I've got goosebumps all over with just that right there, and we haven't heard from everybody else yet.
Well, we still have 4 more to hear.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that also it's what our frequency, what is working with, and what they want to have come through and say.
Mhm.
You know,
Each of us has a different angel that we're working with. So the
Yeah.
story is going to be entirely different. Your experience, the lenses that you wear with your life color everything that you do. And it's cool because it's really demonstrating what the core, and I can hear it too. I bet you can too. There's a core to your mission within the way you're presenting yourself. Yeah. So we still need to hear from Clay and Finn and Joan. Go ahead, Joan.
It's only 10 pages.
Only
Nope.
10?
Joking. Why I do what I do. At one time, Sir Edward talked about how life is a chess set on multiple levels with the pieces constantly moving. Looking at past, present, my future, I can see the different levels being played. These moves are the movements to have me join this group. When I was a child, I was in a house fire. I remember the fire and I was sitting in a bubble with the wall on fire. My uncle told me that my angel told him to go in and save me, even with the flames coming out of the windows. He said the flames parted as he made his way in and parted again after he found us and carried us out. I was okay, except my hands where the heat had burned it. But I see it as a gift of fire, holy fire for Reiki. Our last name was Michael, which is French for Michael. You can't make that stuff up. As a child, I didn't find God in church, but walking out in nature. I remember saying I like this timeline the best and thanking him for letting me be there. In church, they were talking about God judging people and the wrath of God. All I could think of was, that's not my God. My God is love. There was a child molester in my neighborhood. My parents were physically abusive. And I remember saying, I know there are tests, but this is ridiculous. My thinking was not like the other kids. In talking with my uncle, my Uncle Joe, we had a great discussion, and he stopped, looked at me and said, I forgot I was talking to a 10-year-old and not an adult. He told me I was very special. I was a daydreamer when I was young, even getting comments on my report cards. I used to play in a grass field with yellow flowers. I would be smiling and my heart was so open when I came out of it. My spirit knew the boy, but I didn't know his name. It was little Eddie. It was little Eddie I was playing with. Sir Edward said I was always popping into his life, all these chess moves moving me to my destiny. Life moved on, which I had a lot of drama, and I realized the drama in my life could have been so much worse, but was enough to give me experience and empathy. It's a gift that I appreciate now. In July of 2017, Bob Challenger posted, are you looking for that something? This might be it. I clicked on the link and joined. It was a Project Angel Night. I knew I was home, but felt so overwhelmed at the knowledge everyone had. I totally lacked in the knowledge of archangels, science, spirituality, pretty much everything. I read and eventually had the nerve to ask questions and respond in comments. One of the guidelines is to forget what you know. I was way ahead of everyone in that department. Lady Mara sent me the copy of What Angels Dream, and wow, I could see so much of my life in the book. There's a picture of Sir Edward with longer hair, and I realized I had met him in a dream vision. I was just learning my gifts and asked to see my guardian angels. I was at a beach further back, and this man was walking up to me. I was so excited I woke up, but it was Sir Edward, but more. It was Sir Edward and Archangel Michael as one. My journey as an angel knight has been one of growth, love, and enlightenment. I have learned so much about myself, the world, the universe, and heaven. I looked at my marriage and how I reacted to it. I looked at my ex-husband during a rage and realized that he doesn't know how to use his words, keeps it inside and blows up. I looked at myself and I realized I was the same. Growing up, I would get a backhand across my face for speaking my opinion or even having the wrong expression on my face. The two of us together did not work because we never talked about what was truly going on inside. I forgive him, thank him for the experience, and truly send him love. I am proud that we are grandparents together. I look at the different things and try to act in a calm manner. It's hard when it is my kids being affected or the knights, as I have a protective side, my Saint Joan of Arc side. My Joan of Arc connection is so funny because I was given the nickname Joan of Arc by the bands at the bar. I was always saving someone, whether it was staff, the customers, or the bands. My email was Joan of Arc. You can't make this stuff up. Sir Edward started calling me Saint Joan. I thought it was a test of egos to see if people would be jealous. This probably is true to a point because everything is a test. This was in reference to the St. Joan of Arc energy I have around me. It makes me a protective knight, but even this is something I have learned to put into perspective and not to react first. Sir Edward has told me to calm down on the page before, a little too passionate. Questions I had wondered about when I was young has been answered either in the books or by Sir Edward and Lady Sophia. When I was around 10, I was talking to my dad about Adam and Eve. I said, if Adam and Eve were the first people, where did the sons' wives come from? Dad just got mad at me and told me it was a sin to question the church. What I do love is questions are so welcome, and the answers are growth and learning. My approach to life, love, and the world around me has changed. I truly listen to nature, see nature, and send it loving energy. What began with my cat, Sweetie, has taught me to communicate with animals. On Buddy's last day, I understood that he was holding on because he was worried about his master, Sandra. I told him I would take care of her and he was free to go. He passed away the next day and I spent the night at Sandra's so she was not alone. Through this program, I was privileged to learn Reiki. My grandmother always told me I'd be a nurse helping people heal. She also only allowed my hands to massage her. I believe she was seeing me as a Reiki practitioner. My goal is to teach Reiki to the Indigenous people and have them heal the people. Through me, many hearts, many healers shall come. My Anishinaabe name is Ishkoteki Shukuk, which means fire in the sky woman. I knew there was something about my name that was special. One night, an elder walked past me on the road, touched my left shoulder and said, Ashke Bidigiz. This is a person, the people, to lead the people to the eighth fire. My original name is Twapism, which means following the path to the sun. I am fire in the sky woman, following the path to the sun. So cool. I received visions for the Anishinaabe people to follow and did send a package to the Grand Council Treaty 3 to see. Due to COVID, this is the only way I could connect. Lady Sophia told me I did my part, and now it's up to them. I felt the pressure release. I do not know that my work here is I do know that my work here is what will lead the people to the eighth fire. Through the work as an angel knight, my fellow knights and angel knights, we shall succeed. Our work is positive, love, and light. Through alchemy and combining gold, silver, copper, and crystal, we channel positive energy into them and get them into the world. Through the shields and pyramids and other tools, we connect to items and send them energy. This will affect the people around the land, the nature, to increase positive, loving energy. I can feel the positive energy around the place I live. I've always been different, never normal. I have had people attracted to my energy. I had a teacher tell me that there was a calming energy around me. With moving forward, I look back to see the chess moves that have moved me to where I am now. It is meant to be, and I have never felt so much love in my life. The energy is positive with bumps, and the bumps are good. Even life bumps are lessons, and when you learn the lesson, you grow. Why am I here? I have to be, is my feeling, my urge, my passion. I am home.
Any praises and or comments for Lady Joan? Joan, I feel like you shared, it was like we got your entire life story all in one tiny
I know, but I had so much stuff in my life. I've always been in the group. Like I've had Sir Edward in my life all my life.
The one comment I have for you, and this will work for everybody, if you think, there's a good chance every one of us could be asked to do our thing. Joan was the first person I saw whose eyes looked like they were actually looking at the camera. And what she did, or what I tend to do, is when you're working on Zoom, if you put the document that you're going to read from as close to the top of your screen as you can, and then bring the zoom down just below it, and then you've got like this little strip, you can read the text that's there and keep scrolling it up and keep looking into the camera, because it's really powerful when the person's looking you in, especially with these passion things. You know, a TED Talk, there would be all of these people with cameras to help you, but you're going to have to help yourself by looking into the camera.
My printer broke, so I had to minimize the Zoom meeting thing and read it my document.
Yeah, so you put it,
So
but it was close to the top of your screen. So when you were reading, it was like your eyes were always like as close to the camera as you can get it. Anybody else? Sarah says it was beautiful how you shared the experiences with little Eddie and Fire throughout the years. You know, if nothing else, this is going to be an amazing testament. And I think Lady Sophia will enjoy watching this very much, or just listening, actually. So we still need to hear from Finn and Clay. Either one of you guys ready? Okay, Finn, go for it. Clay, okay, yeah, we need you to unmute.
You want me to do it or you want Finn?
Yep, you're good now. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch to notes. And I have to get real close, so you might just see my eye. I wrote this with the question in mind, what drives you? And I tried hard to answer this question by relating recent experiences over the past couple of years. So here goes nothing. My name is Sir Clayton Wilson of the Angel Knights, and love is my religion. I do this work because my heart commands me to. I have been given the gift of life, and I choose to use it to better this place. I am a tiny spark of the Creator, driving a body made of matter, flesh, and bone. I desire to understand through experience what I already know conceptually. There is a great mystery to life. With every breath, more of it is revealed. As a son of light, it is my duty to leave this world better than how I found it. I have done this through loving others and myself, as well as putting into practice what I have learned so far. I am motivated by a deep desire to expand my awareness and gain as much knowing and experience as possible so that I may understand the world at large. I have traveled far and wide in search of meaningful experience and light, and I usually found it in the people I met along the way. I searched until I came to realize that the light I was looking for lived within me, and that meaningful experience only had meaning if it was consciously given. I remember years ago, while I was in university, I had just walked into my favorite coffee house for a hot drink on a cold and rainy day. I sat down to get some work done, and then suddenly I felt a strong, new energy in my root. It hit me like a train. It was hot and it moved up my spine like a snake. I didn't know what it was at the time. Hang on, lost my place. It was hot and it moved up my spine like a snake. I didn't know what it was at the time and later learned that it was a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. When it reached my head, I felt connected to everything. I understood for a split second everything from atoms to galaxies. Then the connection broke and I was back in my body at the coffee house sitting in my computer. I had caught a very brief glimpse of the all of the divine, and I did not know how I had gotten there. Experiencing the divine directly is one of those things that you can't unsee once you've seen it. It's one of those moments that leaves a lasting impression. Your will is completely changed and different. You see all life as an extension of the divine. From that day forward, I was more sensitive to the emotions and energy from people and environments around me. I learned how to develop that sense into something I could use. Being blind helped with this because visual input often gets in the way of psychic sight. I learned to listen with every sense I had, both material and ethereal. I had questions, so I began researching topics like meditation, energy work, astral projection, and other things in an effort to push the boundaries of my consciousness. I knew I was more than just my physical body and mind, but I wanted to know how much more. With this newfound insight, I wanted to show people what it was like. But few people listened. They were either too busy or too stuck in their own beliefs to hear me out. So for a long time, I practiced solo. I needed answers to the many questions I had, and it seemed that the more I uncovered, the more questions would come up. In 2017, I found a sacred order of special souls who kind of got it. They called themselves the Angel Knights, and I was drawn to the light of their teachers, as well as the energy behind them. I was introduced to the archangels along with their counterparts, and we were assigned one to work with us. I couldn't hear them at first because my skills and senses were still developing, and the angelic energy was brand new to me. I considered myself adept in meditation and energy work at this point, but my gifts were still growing and developing. I had lots of books and resources at my disposal, and they helped me significantly, but I had to put it all to the side to make room for what came next. In addition to missions, the group would pull lessons from the Hierophant's Book of Wisdom. These lessons helped me answer fundamental questions about my life and my place on Spaceship Earth. I had also, up to this point, never worked with a group of lightworkers with such heart and intention before. It was like special ops for psychics. I'd spent lots of time with other lightworker groups on social media, but they didn't do much except discuss issues without taking action. The Knights would go on focused love bombing missions to maintain balance in the world. If something came up that upset this balance, we would be called into action to rectify it. The missions were and still are a great joy to go on. We wouldn't go anywhere physically most of the time. We would just project there with our angels. We have faced hurricanes head on to protect land and life. We have planted love in dark places with the use of special stones. We have gone headfirst into protest to prevent chaos erupting in the streets of major cities. We even got to purify tainted water with a special crystal. Our toughest mission by far has been to learn about ourselves. The more we learn, the more there is to discover. It's a constant process of unfolding and evolving. The lessons in the Book of Wisdom helped me put into context what I had been perceiving previously, and they explained what happened to me on that weird day in the coffee shop. There is so much we could talk about here. We tackled all kinds of things like relaxation, psychometry, meditation, angels, emotions, magic, talismans, mysticism, love, healing, and so much more, even our own shadows. As we progressed through each lesson, the group grew a little bit, like adding stones to a staircase or a building. We not only grew as individuals, but as a group too. When one of us elevated, we all elevated. This worked in reverse too. When someone got into a funk, we turned it into a lesson and helped them through it, often to the group's benefit. Asterisk. As a group of angel knights, we do this work because we are chosen by them to do it. I don't know the exact criteria by which the angels chose us, but I guess it has something to do with the light in our hearts and the strength of will we share. They only get the chance to return every half millennium, and they need counterparts if they want to affect change in this dense third dimension. So here we are. They've taught me that I am always exactly where I am supposed to be. More recently, I have discovered a love and passion for Reiki. This intelligent healing energy has the power to heal everything from cells to continents. And I practice it because the world so desperately needs it right now. It's my way to give back to those who have given me so much. That's it.
Namaste. Namaste, Sir Clayton. We couldn't see your face while you were talking, but in some ways, just seeing the photo of you, I don't know, it was pretty perfect. Anybody have a comment, a praise, and a suggestion? Lady Jane, you need to unmute yourself.
No, Clayton, that was absolutely exquisite. And I just have a picture of, here we go. We've got this scenario videos. We start out with Sarah, then we have Clayton here, and then we advance to Alexandria. It's just this beautiful pathway of the pathways and how one embraces the other. It just, it's like the cavemen, how they show us beginning to stand upright more and more. That's kind of the picture I got. I absolutely love
Lady Jane, the beauty is we're recording this, so we actually will have all of these pieces, and they could be edited and put together.
You know, I mean, it's an education course, right? It's just, here we go, gang.
Yeah.
We're on a roll. It's all being covered so beautifully. Thank you.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Alexandria.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Sir Clayton, just, wow. There's no words for the words, you know, just beautiful. It had all the authenticity that you would want. There was no space in there where there was nothing than authenticity and just love and what you've learned and where you hope we're all going and where we are going. Like, you encapsulated everything, my brother. Just gorgeous. Like, I love you, man. I love it. Just so beautiful.
Yep. So, Sir Finn, it's either you or I. Do you want to? And I just got my terrorist back.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't see really good now, so I have to take it up and I try to read it. With this off. But you can hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sir Finn, we can't hear you. Are you going to read? Are you going to read for us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And can you turn your camera on or no? Do you need to have it off?
I need to have it off now when I'm to see what I'm reading just now, because I'm a little difficult to see right now.
Okay.
Yeah. From childhood, I have loved to make my family laugh. Me and my big brother were very close. In a way, he was my only real friend. I trusted 100%. Home where there was 4 children and my mom and dad. I was number 3. I have a little brother, Björn, my bigger brother, Ronnie, that is 1 year and 10 months older than me, and my big sister, Lisa. Mom and dad, Annelise and Tinvigo, but all called my dad Finn, like my mom did, unless if she wanted to make a point, she said Finn Viggo. And he knew that he had to step back or hide on the toilet and read 3 newspapers. Dad asked my mom to marry him when he was 19 years old. She was 20. They had been together since they were 16 years old. My dad had an incredible, contagious laugh. When he saw something funny on TV or he laughed at something we said, everybody around him had to laugh. He was loved by those he worked with and people who got to experience his energy. My dad was a wolf leader, but he had a very tender heart. Many times we saw that. One time he stopped the car and we looked out the windows from the car that he was climbing in something that looked like a fishing net that was hanging up as a decoration. And he had seen a little bird had got stuck in the net. My mother is saying, Finn, be careful. Just to say, I told you if you had fall. But he got the bird out and free. And one day he came home with a bird that he had found alone. And it got his own room, where mostly me and my big brother Ronnie had to go in and out with food and water to drink and to his own bath. I think the room was really dirty before the bird was grown up to be a big seagull. And my mother said, Finn Viggo, that bird has to go now. And he looked at me and my brother Ronnie, and we knew who had to do it. In my childhood, I knew I was dreaming in the dream. And the most joyful was to tell my brother Ronnie that this is my dream. We can do whatever we want. When I was 22 years old, I packed my car and drove 2,000 kilometers from north to west of Norway. After 2 days driving from the north, I met my friend that had been living there for 1 year, and he lived with his girlfriend. And the same evening, I met my wife at the party they took me to. And that meeting ended with 3 boys together after 2 marriages. Yes, we did it 2 times. First time at the Elvis Presley Imitator Festival. I read in the magazine they were looking for couples that wanted to be married at the festival of Kjell Elvis. Our Norwegian Elvis was a priest. But it was cheap. I only had to pay for my family that was coming for dinner in the capital city. Our next marriage was not a cheap one like the first one, but she had dreamed about going up the church floor with her father since we were divorced. We married again. And she did walk up a beautiful floor with her father, and my big brother was there and her family. After 3 months, we got divorced. And this was in 25. And I experienced a light that came closer and closer to me each night. I was standing out and took a cigarette. And less fear I had, the closer it came. First, it looked like it was up with the stars. After 10 days, it was like about 20 meters from me. When it was flying like a light bubble one early morning in November. After that, I had it more and more difficult to keep on as before. And after many years of living in the contrast from being in bliss to being in despair, I found Atlantis Angel Academy early 2018 and have been blessed to have so many loving hearts to connect with and learn from. And the contrast is much easier to see and know what to do if I get too far away. Acting from the heart and being totally free. Loving and trustful connection with my children and family, clients and friends, and not yet friends. I take with me only loving memories and feelings from my past. Rest I let go. Heal the past, I scripture the future, and I live in the moment. I see a glorious, beautiful, and wonderful, loving future for us all. And so it is. Thank you.
Namaste, Finn Eric. Okay, anybody have, go ahead, Alexandria, jump in.
Yeah, man, there was a point where we were all in the middle of winter around a huge fire, and he was telling this story, and it was to be passed down. It was like this beautiful generational, it had this beautiful, beautiful ancient like rhythm to the storytelling. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous, metered very well, beautiful rhythm. And the content, I mean, it was all authentic. Just like I was enraptured. I love stories.
Anyone else? Go ahead, Lady Jane.
I think, Finn, I sort of move you in the direction of maybe myself and Joan. You know, we've all embraced this in the way that we're doing it, and what it means to us to actually be on this path. And the way that I have perceived you is you really are about the heart. You speak from the heart. We all have our moments where we go, you know, we do this, it's part of it. But whatever we go through, you live as long as I do, and yeah, you can roll out a whole bunch of stuff, but it's just beautiful because the heart is the pull and the draw, and that's where you are, and that's what you portray, you come back to. And you know, we fall, we're not afraid to admit that, and then we get back up and we keep moving forward, and that's what really helps. We're all human, and none of us are, we all do that, and I find that beautiful. I love your heart passion.
Thank you.
Finn, I'm going to give you the same feedback I would give Clay, and anybody and everybody actually. There's something, it's still effective to just hear your voice, but there's something super powerful when we can see your face. So I think it's, you know, if it's possible to print out your piece and have it ready for Monday so that if you are called upon, you don't have to turn your camera off or switch to the video. And I don't know, you know,
I don't have a,
printers out in Braille.
yeah, I know, but I don't have printer here, so.
Okay. Or have a second device if you can, you know, do the Zoom call with your phone and use an iPad or if you can, it's not a have to.
Yeah, I can do that, phone and yeah.
But just that having the text up to help you. I mean, and obviously, like if you could do it minus, if you were doing a TED Talk, you actually can't read. It has to be so practiced that it's just, the story is all there. But, you know, I don't think any of us are going to get there by Monday. But this,
I read wrote about 4, 5, 6 page. So and what you said, Jane, is it true that it for me it was so much going back. It was really some really releasing and something that happens when I was doing this passion. It was totally not what I really was a little embarrassed. I haven't read it before. I have sent it, and I think, oh, this is so away from what was supposed to be. But for me, this was so I just had to take out a little pieces of all I had written and send in this because it was so much. It's what maybe I have 8-10 hours writing. Yeah, and so I just have to say that. So
it's beautiful. Okay. Is everybody good to stick around for like another 5 minutes? I haven't shared mine and I'll do that. Good to stick around for a couple more minutes? Okay. Okay, so I'm probably going to read you guys both of mine simply because they're actually not that long and they do, like so many of you guys, they piggyback off one another. Okay. Who am I? Well, I'm a part of the all. I'm a daughter of the light. I'm a spiritual seeker, but perhaps that wasn't the answer you were looking for. Who I present myself as generally depends on the person I'm speaking to, my reason for sharing, and the capacity of that person to understand where I'm coming from. The first 3 ways that I describe myself, however, are the core of who I am. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. I didn't always realize that, though. When my mother died and I experienced her spirit leaving the shell of her body behind, I began to search for answers, ultimately reawakening knowledge of who I am that had been lost in childhood, partly because of school. It's precisely because of that how that I put my own light under a bushel basket, so to speak, that I ultimately came to fulfill my purpose in this lifetime, my calling, my highest evolution. As far as my career goes, which is how so many of us tend to describe ourselves, I'm a learner, I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, I'm a coach, and I'm a trainer. From my career as a K-5 teacher in an arts magnet school to my work as a professional developer and then a district level administrator, I worked for over 20 years in the big system of education. When I had my position eliminated 7.5 years ago, I began a path of rediscovery of my true purpose in life. Following the guidance from Spirit to look at one-room schoolhouses, I read, I traveled, and I taught in small schools, becoming convinced that there was a better way for kids who are different, kids who are spirit-led, neurodiverse, creative, sensitive, etc., to explore the world with caring adults who will help them to cultivate their gifts. My business and my mission to build Archangel Michael's schools is a direct reflection of that. Who am I, you ask? I'm a microschool builder. I'm an angel knight. I'm a wife, a seeker, a lifelong student of the ancient wisdoms left behind for us all to discover. So that was the piece for Path of the Magi. So now I'm going to give you the piece that I wrote for this group. I'm going to just read you guys, just so you have the context. I actually put this in for Lady Sophia. This is not part of the speech, but when Lady Sophia first talked about the Passion speech, I started hearing an Ascended Master chattering. So I think it was Master Sam, but I had this clarity because Lady Sophia has been telling me that my work was to build a galactic school district. And it's crazy. I mean, I knew I was supposed to do this global thing, and I'm like, galactic, like that's insanity. But I had, in one of the Reiki classes, I had actually talked to Master Sam, and he showed me that if I did what I was supposed to do here, he and the Ascended Masters were going to make the connections that needed to be made on the galactic level. So when she talked about that last week, there was like this, just this further feeling of clarity. And so I just figured that would be useful. So for this group, I wrote about why I do what I do. Why do I do what I do? Well, first of all, I'm a student, both in the 3D Earth-based human sense and also in the evolutionary multidimensional sense. I continue to learn and grow alongside any students who I find myself in proximity to. I currently and intentionally study business building and marketing, as well as ancient mystery teachings, and both provide balance and inspiration to my work. First and foremost, though, I'm a Magi in training. I'm learning the ancient wisdom teachings, regaining that birthright that I once forgot. I am a co-creator now and always have been with Source. I'm seeking to continue to grow and evolve, to no longer need to return to this physical body, to redo life in order to evolve. So each day I strive to be the best angel knight I possibly can be, in word, thought, and deed. Each evening I review my progress and I aim to improve the following day. In this way, I'm following the breadcrumbs that are being given to me to help create a new future for education on this planet, for the betterment of all beings. I'm following the path that I chose for myself in this lifetime, and I am fulfilling my personal destiny. As for my work, my job, that thing that helps me earn money to sustain this human body, I'm a self-made micro school builder. I use my waking hours to respond to those who have a vision for building one of the ancient mystery schools for children. These are Archangel Michael's schools. Sometimes the people who come to me know that this is what they're doing. Oftentimes they're just working instinctively or intuitively. But once these folks find me, I begin to work with them to help them determine what the children who will come to that school actually need. And I help them to build a safe haven for both of them, for the teacher and for the student, which provides much needed and deserved income that educator desires. I'm co-creating a global network of schools alongside my staff and my clients. Together, we're creating a new kind of school district, one that defies borders and boundaries of all kinds. Together, we're providing children with an opportunity to be themselves, to grow into their own personal birthright as well. Our work, while academic at times, is primarily designed to help children to stay awake and to cultivate their gifts to the highest benefit of all beings. I do this work because every fiber in my being calls me to it. Every step I've taken to this point has led me here. I have seen and continue to have visions of what is possible. It's those snippets of guidance that motivate me to be curious, to look for new opportunities, new pathways. Because of my Magi training, I'm able to follow up with those leads and to determine which ones are aligned with Archangel Michael's mission and which are not. In addition to taking guidance on my own, I have come to rely on the wisdom of some of the senior knights to guide me when I'm not sure. In this way, I both grow my own part of Michael's mission while also serving the larger mission that includes so many others as well. Okay, there you go. Go, Jane.
Well, there's a lot of good stuff. I know your passion. I mean, that's because, you know, the micro school and it's all there. I really feel like what you gave us in the second one, if you kind of just gave, it really could be the TED Talk. And you're such a good TED talker that I felt like we're already on that I felt like that why you're on the path of the Magi, what it's done for you is to help you with all this. And it might just be taking a little bit from the first one, which to me didn't really tell it, and put it with this one. Maybe you don't have to address the galactic in that. You will know where to cut the bounds of what's too woo-woo, but somehow just blend the two together. And in my mind, you have one solid TED Talk for what your passion is, why you do what you do, but it's one that could definitely go out to the masses. As Gabriel trying to bring people in, you'd be blowing your horn well, I think. Do you follow what I'm trying to say there?
Yeah, there's you know, I actually did
From the heart way. It's different. It's not emotional. It just embraces. Maybe somebody else has something to say, but definitely you capture what you do and your essence, and you know that part's really beautiful.
Thank you. I absolutely agree with you. They can be merged and some of the woo-woo stuff can be stripped, and it's actually a talk I could record and give.
And it wasn't much woo-woo, really. I didn't.
Well, I was careful to leave it out, but the energy of all of it was still there, I think.
Well, we want a little bit, but maybe somebody else has something that.
Alexandria? Oh, you're muted.
Just beautifully, beautifully fine-tuned your mission, how you spoke. It was just beautiful and gorgeous. And I don't think we should be shy of the woo-woo. We don't have to completely disconnect, and and it's not like people are not going to understand. I don't think we need to be afraid of that magic, and I don't think that that's something that should be taken out or only speak, very logically or very left brain, because people need that as well. They need that spark. But you didn't. You absolutely did that. You had all of it. You encompassed it beautifully.
One of the real gifts and blessings of working with Gabriel is if I let him do it, he puts in just the right things for the person who I'm talking to. I have become less afraid of putting the woo-woo stuff in when I'm talking to a client. He starts a potential client. Exactly. He starts chattering and he tells me to say the thing. I was working with a client yesterday and I could see her logo. So I started drawing it on my thing. And then she goes and she gets a picture and she holds it up. And I said, I have to show you this. And I thought she was going to go to the bathroom in her pants, because that actually was her logo. And I had drawn exactly what she had on her paper on my paper.
Perfect. I mean, the being afraid of the woo is the 3D. That's the templating. We're leaving all the power and everything that we've learned. Embrace it, man.
Yeah.
Still be articulate, but embrace it.
Yeah. Well, you just, in my work, it's a little more on the, oh, good Lord, dog's going to eat crystals. Hold on. No, you cannot have those. Of course, you are a Reiki dog. Sorry, you guys. No, don't eat crystals. She just found a little bag of Reiki crystals. I find that really hysterical.
He wanted a chakra tune-up.
Is there anything that anybody else needs from this? I mean, I feel like everybody's kind of got a sense of tweaks they can make. I mean, I think our goal, I think we achieved what Lady Sophia asked us to do. Would you be in agreement?
Yes, absolutely. Can we send a quick little burst of energy to her when she said how much pain she was in yesterday, and now her eye is completely closed? Like, oh no, no.
Did you hear, Alexandria, that maybe, were you in the room when we gave you the update on her eye? It was a contact that was too tight. She went back and they removed it. And so I'll have to check back in with Doc, but that was, I think, about 12:30 or so. And they're hoping that's a problem. So, she'll start, we don't want to stop sending her,
But could we do it collectively right
Sure.
now, briefly,
that'd be
because we're
great.
super powerful. We're already connected, shielded, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and we will need to do a closing convocation or invocation convocation. Alexandria, since you called for it, would you like to lead it?
Okay, all right. How beautiful all of this expressing and opening up and sharing all this authenticity with each other. And I call in the angels of the four directions right now: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, to come stand their posts and to help us send powerful healing to Our Lady Sophia Key. In these moments, her vessel goes through so much to transmute, transmit, and embody all of this Christ consciousness and healing and divine wisdom. If it wasn't for her, where would we be? We send her love in this now moment, and we send her healing, for she's such a pure and divine grace for us.
Thank you, Lady Alexandria. Okay, does everybody feel grounded and satisfied with the work we've done today?
Good. Very good, yes.
So the recommendations are make any adjustments that you want or combining together. Be ready to be the person that's going to be asked to share on Monday. Have what you want to say printed or committed to memory so that you're able to be authentic and present and to share in a way that really connects to with whomever shows up.
Do we know what time yet? I mean, we talked about 4:44 or something like that. I didn't know if there had been any updates.
I haven't heard any, Jane. I don't think, did she speak about it?
No, she hasn't spoken about it. And, I just sent something out in the inner, I don't even know who's actually going to physically make it. I don't know if you've seen your email yet, Mara. So we just have to see, and hopefully before, it was around that time, I don't know how late it would be able to go, and that may end up being our Christmas convocation too. I don't know. I think because she's been so behind with the eye, I haven't wanted to ask, or bother her that way.
So my sense is, I looked sunsets at 4:43 or something like that on Monday at the castle. So it is that it's like 45 minutes or so that they're saying after that. But I mean, I know my intention was to be there, and if it is a command performance, I will go. But I have already spoken to her about the fact that with the increase in COVID cases and there's been a huge increase on travel restriction here and between here in Maryland, that I may stay home, mainly because for me, it's the best demonstration of healing and all of that. Mm-hmm. But I also may be there. I would say, intuitively that we should all plan for 4:30 to 6:30. That's what I'm hearing.
Time frame. I agree with you. I think that will about do it.
Because if you block that, if you can and you can block that, but I don't think it's going to be problematic, and everybody feels good about their putting up their devices and having them show in the screen, because I think this group will need to anchor that.
So I'm waiting to hear what what some of us need to do, period, to get it clean and, you know, do all that. So I'm sure all that by maybe tomorrow or the weekend. Now that hopefully she'll have a good night rest. You never know with her. She might just show up tonight and, you know, do something. I don't know yet. And let us know which way it's all going. So,
I think like Alexandria Jones, Sarah Clay, Finn, and possibly myself, we should consider ourselves the anchor for the digital pieces. You know, our jobs will be to really present well, not just the words, but to have our stuff visible so that people can see it. To be, you know, like I know when I'm doing this work, and Joan, you do it too, I monitor to see, to make sure that, you know, everybody's there, the energies are connected and anchored and all of that. So this group can really be of use that way, because if things go the way she was talking, there will be multiple cameras on the Stargate. So this group can really help to anchor this part of it, the Zoom part of it. Well, excellent. Okay. I will put this recording up as a private recording, and I will check in with her to see if we can share it. But for the moment, I will just share it with Lady Sophia, and then ask if she wants you guys to have access to it, so you can go back and review your, because that's actually pretty useful to go back and watch yourself, see what you would like to do differently, and you'll be able to see, you know, the eyes. When your eyes are looking down, it's totally a different experience than when your eyes are looking at the camera. Okay. Okay.
thank you.
Thank you so much for showing up today. Excellent. Bye, everybody.
Bye. See ya.